Qam Yasharahla. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akim, or just pushing the truth in love, sincerity, and in charity with all humility. Okay, this is the brother Yashawan from the GMS Farmers Camp, back at jail with another Monday Night Live. Okay, the name of this lesson is entitled Stockpile Supplies and Prepare for World War III. Okay, stockpile supplies and prepare for World War III. Okay, so I got this article here, all right, that I'm going to read from the People's Voice, okay, news source. It reads, EU issues dire warning to 450 million citizens, stockpile supplies and prepare for World War III. Okay, so with war talks in the air and trading wars with tariffs going on, okay, at this time, along with other activities, all right, such as earthquakes, tornadoes, pestilence, so on and so forth. Okay, EU issues, okay, warning to 450 million citizens. Okay, Shalom, Akwat, okay. So with all this going on right now in the world, all right, with Trump putting tariffs, okay, on all these different nations, okay, even places where nobody even live, okay, only penguin lives in these places, and he putting tariffs on them, okay. So all this stuff was going on, all these activities in the earth, all right, earthquakes. I think we already had for the year some 3,000 plus earthquakes. You see what happened the other day, okay? Tornadoes, all right, 49 tornadoes in a couple of different places in Babylon. Okay, pestilence, okay, Crown Royal still here as they claim. All right. So all this stuff was going on. Okay, trading war. All right. The EU issues dire warning. Okay, to 450 million citizens. All right. So when you go into the word dire, all right, from the Google, it means extremely serious or urgent, similar, okay, dire, all right, means extremely serious or urgent, okay? And some of the similars, right, is terrible, dreadful, frightening, frightful, horrible, atrocious, serious, grievous, disastrous, all right? And that's some of the similars for this word dire, all right? Now, so this warning, as we see, is horrible for those who don't fear Yahweh. Okay, we know that our power is terrible and he will not spare in judgment. Okay, he will not spare in judgment. Okay, so let's get this precept in Deuteronomy 10 and 17. Okay, Deuteronomy 10 and 17 say, for Yahweh, your power is a power of powers and lords of lords, a great power, a mighty, and a terrible, which regarded not persons, nor take it reward. Okay, so the Most High don't care who you are. All right, he don't care who you are. He don't take reward. All right, So in the article say European Union is teetering on the edge of precipice and its leaders know it. On Wednesday, the EU Commission issued a chilling directive. Every citizen must stockpile food, water, and essential supplies to survive at least 72 hours of total disruption. So they know what's coming. Okay. We can look up this word teetering, right? From the Google. It's a move or balance unsteadily, sway back and forth. Okay, like a seesaw. All right, and uh, what is precipice? Okay, what is precipice? All right, let me see if I can pull it up. All right, it's a lock. Yeah, I pull that on. I have that on this. Okay, right. But then it's a precipice, right? Is a very steep rock face or cliff, especially a tall one. So they are seesawing on a sharp rock, and they know it. Also, they know they have but a short time here. Okay, so when you look at this article, it says the European Union is teetering on the edge of a precipice, which is a sharp pointed object like a seesaw. They back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, right? And its leaders know it. On Wednesday, the EU Commission issued a chilling directive. Every citizen must stockpile. This is what they're saying now. Every citizen must stockpile food, water, and essential supplies to survive at least 72 hours of total disruption. Okay? So they know what time it is. Okay? They know what's going on. And they know with all this stuff happening, they have but a short time. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. Right? So, like they say, on Wednesday, the EU Commission issued a chilling directive. Every citizen must stockpile food, water, and essential supplies to survive at least 72 hours of total disruption. Right? So they are urging their citizens, okay, to stockpile on food and water to cover at least 72 hours. All right, we knows when there be wars, okay, famines kick in and essential supplies fade away. Okay, these things are recorded in the scriptures. All right, let's get second address, chapter 15. All right, second address 15 and 5. They say, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right. Second Edwards 16 and 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that shall escape the hunger shall the sword destroyed. Okay, So guess what? These are spirits from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So let's shoot this around 39. Okay. This is Sirach chapter 39 and 28 and 20 to 29. You see, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In a time of destruction, they pour out their forces and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Okay? All these were created for vengeance. Okay? Now, we can go on here. It says in the article, this is a drill. This isn't a drill, Salah. It's a grim acknowledgement that war and chaos are no longer distant threats, but looming certainties. The 18-page manifesto, cloaked as a preparedness strategy, reads like a precaution and more like a battle plan for a continent bracing for impact. All right. So what's a grim? Because it say this isn't a drill, it's a grim acknowledgement that war and chaos are no longer distant threats, but looming certainties. So they know what time it is. Okay, like I said, what's a grim? All right. A grim, right, which is very serious or gloomy. Very serious or gloomy. Certainties, because they say it's a grim acknowledgement that war and chaos are no longer distant threats, but looming certainties, right? Certainties, okay, which is certainties, which is firm conviction that something is the case, right? That's what they say. They say the 18-page manifesto, cloaked as a preparedness strategy, reads like a prosecution, like a precaution, and more. They say read less like a precaution and more like a battle plan for a continent bracing for impact. Okay, speaking about the day of the Lord, because you bracing for impact, you bracing for those nukes. Okay, because remember now, EU issue out saying like a dire warning, and a dire means extreme, serious, or urgent. Okay, which is also terrible, dreadful, okay, horrible, all right, grievous and disastrous. Okay, so they preparing for the day of the Lord as they clean. Okay, so let's get this precept in Isaiah chapter 13. All right, it's Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So you think the Lord got time to play? All right. And what are some of the similar words for dire? Terrible, dreadful, horrible, okay? Disastrous, grievous, okay? Frightful, dreadful. All right. Let's get Joel 1 and 15. Okay. Joel 1 and 15 says, alas for the day, for that day of Yahweh is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. So the Lord ain't gonna hold that back when you see that time. Okay. So when these nukes hit, it will be what? Disastrous. It will be what? Terrible. It will be what? Horrible. Okay. It will be what? Dreadful. Okay. It will be disastrous, atrocious. Okay. And horrible for you people. Oh yeah. Even you 2/3. Okay. Of the nation of Israel. All right. So let's get Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 1. I can take it, take that verse 1 straight on down to verse 8. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 1. Shalom Malak Yahweh Shem Yashai Barak. All right. You see, the word of the Lord came to me, came again unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord power, how are ye? Woe, what's the day? For the day is near, even the day of the Lord is near. A cloudy day, it shall be the time of the heathen. Because I say many of you people are going to be put down. Right? And the sword shall come upon Egypt. Okay, Egypt is synonymous with Babylon, which is also America. And the sword shall come upon Egypt, and great pain shall be in Ethiopia, when the slain shall fall in Egypt, and they shall take away her multitude and her foundation, she shall be broken down. Going back to Isaiah 13. That when the nukes hit that place, only doleful creatures are going to inhabit that. And place humans wouldn't be able to dwell there no more. Okay? Ethiopia, Libya, and Lydia, and all of the mingled people and the tribe, and the men of the land that is in league shall fall with them by the sword. People from area. Thus said Yahweh power, they also that uphold Egypt shall fall, and the pride of her power shall come down. From the tower of Seni shall they fall in it by the word, said Yahweh power, and they shall be desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and the cities shall be in the midst of the cities that are wasted, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have set a fire in Egypt, and when all her helpers shall be destroyed. So, hey, the times we're living in right now, okay, is serious. With this trade war going on, okay, Trump is setting fire upon these people. Okay, the devil going ahead with another devil. Okay, so that ain't gonna stand. Okay, whatever they pulling, it's gonna be broken down. Like the scripture says, it should fall. Okay, so that 18-page manifesto, what they said, right? Preparedness strategy won't help you at all. Okay, so brace yourself for the kill. This thing gonna help you. The preparedness strategy. When that nuke hit, okay, that going straight down, boy. That can everything that is in the power of that wind. Okay, then the fallout, the radiation and all that stuff can get you. Okay, so prepare yourself for the kill, boy. If you don't fear Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. All right. They say this next paragraph says the document doesn't mince words. Europe is facing a new reality marred with risk and uncertainty. It declares, painting a dystopian vision of a continent under siege. Russia's aggression isn't a distant rumble anymore. It is a battering ram at the gates. Critical infrastructure is being targeted. Cyber attacks are escalating on computers and stuff like that. And geopolitical tensions are a lit fuse waiting to blow. Geopolitical tensions among these other nations. Okay, the EU Commission isn't asking citizens to prepare out of caution. It's a desperate plea to survive the opening salvo of a conflict they see hurtling towards them. Now, what is a salvo? Well, let's get it. Okay. A salvo, right, means a simultaneous discharge of artillery or other guns in a battle. That's a salvo. Okay. So what they're saying is that the EU Commission isn't asking citizens to prepare out of caution. It's a desperate plea to survive the opening salvo, which is a simultaneous discharge of artillery. Okay, meaning all these different guns and bullets and things gonna be coming at them. Okay, the missiles and all that type of stuff. Okay, so they saying like they ain't telling them to prepare just right so, but to prepare to survive. That's what they're telling them. When you see World War start, hey, if you're in with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, hey, what? 6 feet deep or even more. Okay, so the EU knows, they knows exactly what's coming. All right, let's get Isaiah 31. Okay, Isaiah 34, Salakia, verse 1. Okay, Isaiah 34, starting at top, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, and hear. Okay, and Salakia, the top of my Bible say that the day of the Lord, Armageddon. Come near, ye nations, and to hear. And hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter. That's gonna happen to this devil, Esau, Edom. Okay, even 2/3 of our people. Their slain shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the tree, from the fig tree. That's speaking about the nuclear missile when it hit ground zero. Okay, you know when the nuclear missile hit and it go up big, throw up like a mushroom cloud, and then it be roll up, the clouds be roll up together. That's what that's speaking about. So who can survive that? You see, for verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon who? Idomia, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay? The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of the lamb of goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of ram. For Yahweh the sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idomia. Bozrah is another name for the land of Esau, Edom. Okay? All right? You all think the Lord got time to play. Oh, let's go on in this article. All right? They say, and it's not just Russia keeping EU leaders awake at night across the Atlantic. Trump's America has turned from allies to antagonists, leaving Europe to pay its own bills. The result, a frantic scramble to arm up, shore up defenses, and ready the population of the world where self-reliance isn't optional. It is the only lifeline left. Okay? So frantic, right? Frantic. Okay? The word frantic means distraught with fear, anxiety, or other emotions. Okay? You hear that? Say distraught with fear, anxiety, or other emotions. So what they're saying here, the result, a frantic scramble to arm up, right? Which is distraught with fear, anxiety, and other emotions. Shore up defenses and ready the population for a world where self-reliance isn't optional. Okay? Self-reliance isn't optional. It's the only lifeline left. Okay? So they are scared, and Esau knows his end is near. Okay, his ending is our beginning. Okay, going back to second half, just 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that follow it. Who's Jacob? Jacob being the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay. Back in this article, all right, it says the EU survival blueprint is as practical as it is terrifying. Every household must hoard enough supplies to weather 3 days of chaos. Food, water, medicine, blankets, batteries, the weights. In the case of extreme disruption, the initial period is the most critical. The document warns. Translation says, when the bombs drop, you hear that? When the bombs drop. All right? When the bombs drops, okay? When the bombs drop or the lights go out, you're on your own. Emergency services won't save you. This is stuff we've been telling our people. Your neighbors won't share. All right. Sounding like more like the purge. The EU wants you to psychologically steal for a nightmare where society frays and survival hinges on what's stashed in your basement. You see what he's saying? So when the bomb drops, only dust and debris is going to be left. Okay? All right? So you think you can stockpile and you think you can just go in your cage or your bunker and stuff like that and you'll be all right? You think so? Let's get our Habakkuk. Not Habakkuk, it's a lot. Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Before behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither not root nor branch. So only reflecting dust and debris. Okay, verse 2. But unto you that fear my name, whose name is Yahweh, and whose son's name is Yahweh Shai. Yah means he is, Hawa means self-exists. Yahweh Shai, Yah means he is, Yahweh Shai means deliverer or savior. Jesus means earth pig. Okay, G means earth, sus means pig. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and he shall go forth and grow up as calf for the stall, and he shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, say the Lord of hosts. Okay? All right, but before this, it says, right? It says, EU, okay, wants you psychologically steal for a nightmare where society frees and survival hinges on what's stashed in your basement. Boy, tell you. Shalom Malak Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Okay, let's go and let's look at this word steal. That's the word steal is STEELED, stealed, right? Now it say, for the Google, it say mentally prepare oneself to do or face something difficult. So this is what the EU telling the people: you better prepare yourself and face a disastrous, something that is disastrous that is coming onto you. So you better prepare yourself and ready to face these difficult times. This is what they are warning the people. And remember now, they're giving them a dire warning, and dire, which really means horrible, disastrous, grievous, okay, serious and dreadful, terrible, okay, atrocious, right? So they are saying like, yeah, you want to psychologically, okay, to prepare yourself. That's what they're saying. Prepare yourself for something difficult, for a nightmare where society frees and survival hinges on what's stashed in your basement. This is what they're saying. Okay, so what that sound like? That sound like the purge. All right, that sound like the purge, but okay. The brother Desire one posted. Desire one posted Hebrew Salak, Isaiah 13 and 9. 13 and 6. Only for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Right there shall all hands be faint and every man's heart melt. Right? And every heart shall melt. Okay. Verse 8. And they shall be afraid, pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. Right? They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one to another. Their faces shall be as, okay, so like, yeah, trying to, okay, all right, their faces, so like, they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, okay, they shall be amazed at one another, their faces shall be, right, as, so like, let me just get out of the rest of that. All right, going back to Isaiah 13. Okay, all right, 13 and 8. And they shall be affrighted, pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travail. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flame. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. All right. So, hey, that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. So, the EU is telling them, like, to prepare yourself. Okay. And like I said, it sounds just like The Purge. If you never watched that movie, The Purge, go ahead and check that out. Okay. Let's get second here, just chapter 16 and 22 to 24. They say, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall no man left to till the earth and to sow it. Okay, all right. Second address 6, okay, and 22, right? Because they mentioned you better prepare yourself, okay? Prepare yourself, all right, for something that is difficult. And they say, yeah, and survival hinges on what starts in your basement. So people coming for what's down there, okay? People's gonna be running around with their head cut off. Second is 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and full stores shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Now the EU say what? The EU tell them that, the EU want to put you psychologically still, which is mentally prepare yourself, okay, to face something difficult, right? But 24 say, second of the 6 and 24, at that time shall friends fight one another, fight one against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in the fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not turn, they shall not run. Okay. So all of this is recorded in the scriptures, and these things are going to happen. All right, and we see this article line right up with what's going on. All right, this is second address 15 and with 14 to 19. We say, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up to fight against another, like we just read, friends are fighting against another, and the swords in their hand, and there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, for they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go in the city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Okay, remember now, survival hinge on what's stashed in your basement. So what you have in your basement? All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil Their goods. Survival hinge on what's stashed in your basement. This is what the EU is saying. So we know all type of food and things stashed down there. Okay. I mean, all these devils go, they love to have these basements stocked out with all kind of food. All right. So it's gonna be doggy dog world that day. It's gonna be kill or be killed. Okay. Survival mode is gonna kick in. So 15 and 19 again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because the lack of bread and for great tribulation. It's coming. And guess what? We the prophets been telling you over and over and over. Right? So people will be in survival mode. Okay. This is not a game. This is not a game. Okay, this article. Okay. It says this isn't about weathering the storm, it's about enduring the collapse of everything Europe has taken for granted. The Commission even wants preparedness drilled into school kids, teaching them to spot disinformation and steel their minds against the propaganda wars already raging. It's a generation being groomed not for peace, but for battle. All right, that's them. All right, saying they're preparing for battle now. All right. One minute they're telling the people, prepare yourself, okay, for a horrible death. You might just say, prepare yourself mentally, okay, and to face something difficult. Shalom Malak Yahweh Shem Yashai Barakatah. All right. So, like the scripture says, when it shall say peace and safety, then cometh sudden destruction, going back to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. Okay, but guess what? These devils want war and never satisfied. Even with blood, they never satisfied. Okay, because you already say now, it's a generation being prepared not for groom, but for battle. Okay, so let's get Sirach chapter 12 and Sirach chapter 12 and 16. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. We know who our enemy is. Okay. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep, he will weep with his eyes, but if he find an opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay? He will not be satisfied with blood if we get that opportunity. Okay? This is Proverbs 12 and verse 6. It say, the words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood. The wicked being Esau, Edom, called Malachi, according to Malachi 1 and 4. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. All right. Okay. So now let's get the kicker. Okay, let's get the kicker in this last paragraph. Okay, it say here's the kicker, right? EU leaders aren't just reacting, they are orchestrating. They ain't just reacting, they orchestrating. Esau is orchestrating this thing. Germany, okay, check this. All right, like I said, never satisfied, right? Germany updates war plans last June, unveiled by Interior Minister Nancy Faeser, laid bare the bloc's mindset: arm, arm up or be crushed. This is what she's saying. Ursula von der Leyen, the Commissioner's steely president, doubled down Wednesday, insisting that new realities requires a new level of preparedness. But her words drip with more than urgency. They hint at intent. Why else push this hard, this fast, unless they're not just fearing war, but preparing to wage it? Okay, they're preparing to wage war. Okay, they're not just preparing it, they're preparing to wage it. Okay, so like I say, they never satisfy with flesh and blood. But guess what? Esau fighting against Esau. Okay, Russia going against Babylon. Russia is Esau. Babylon is Esau. Israel is Esau. Okay, Israel today is Esau. Okay, them gutter rats within our land, them troglodytes. Why didn't they call themselves Jewish? They can never call themselves Jews. All right, because they are not the people, they are imposters, the Amalekites, those dirty stinking kites. Okay, they say, but her words drip more than urgency. They hint at intent. Why else push this hard, this fast, unless they are not just fearing war, but preparing to wage it? You see? Meaning, this is what they want. Okay? But they'll get it sooner than they think. All right? They will get it sooner than they think. So let's get this last precept. Okay, we can close up with this. Jeremiah 30, 23 and 24. He said, behold, the whirlwind of Yahweh goeth forth with fury, a continual whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked, wicked being Esau, Edom. The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have what? Done it. Until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. So like they say, they're not just preparing, but they're not just fearing war, but preparing to wage it. Okay? But the Lord say, it's coming down on your head. Okay, you devils, it's coming down on your head. All right? But here it is, they're telling millions to stockpile and prepare for World War III. So that tells you right there. Okay? They're not just fearing it, but they're preparing to wage it. See, these devils, they always tell you what they're gonna do. They never keep quiet. They tell you it in a smooth way. Okay, you hear what this article is saying? Okay, say Ursula von der Leyen, the Commissioner's steely president, doubled down Wednesday, insisting that new realities require a new level of preparedness. But her words drip. You see that? But her words drip more than an urgency. They hint at intent. So they want this. We want it too. So we get the hell about here. We want it. Bring it on. Why else push this hard, this fast, unless they are not just fearing war, but preparing to wage it? Wage goes back to working, labor. Okay. So yeah, man. Hey, Lord, well, this lesson was edifying. Okay. We saw an audio. All right. Like I said, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of following. All right. We saw an audio Hakim. Okay, let's continue to push. Let's continue to strive for the truth, even until the end. Okay, we soon or the end. All right, we get just a little bit more time. Okay, soon or the end. All right, so with that, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great wisdom, peace, and salutation. To you, Akim, of just pushing the truth in love and sincerity, and in charity with all humility. Okay, Shalom, Shalom to the Akim on the common board, to the Akwat, and Wakim on the common board, Shalom, and the Bible board. Qam Yasharahla.